Morning, everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. It is raining here, but you know, I'm inside, so it's okay. So, let me see about getting just a smidge more light and give the computer time to catch up, and then we'll get started. Okay. There we go. How about that? That looks a little better. All right, now, if we can just get the computer to cooperate with us, we'll be doing good, right? And there I am. Okay. And I don't know why. It's always just a little crooked. Must be the way my phone is sitting, which doesn't look crooked to me. Ooh, new catalog. All right, so let's talk about the catalog. Who's excited for the catalog? I am. Let me see if I can turn up my volume. If somebody's out there, let me know if my volume's good. Anybody? Hopefully it is. I forgot to check it. So I'll scream a little bit louder and hopefully it's good. All right, catalog. So I thought I would talk to you today about how to recreate the cards and items in the catalog, basically. Okay? So we are going to turn to page 29. And I thought I would focus on this card right here, which uses these two stamp sets and one of our flower ones from the core catalog, which I'll show you what they are in a minute. But I went online under catalog, recipes, and I went to page 29, and they're listed as thank you, horizontal, just this one probably. Let's see. Doesn't say thin cut. Thank you, birthday, and then it says miss you, and then it says Tahiti page, and that's what's on here. So boom, 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 boom. Okay? So if you look at this, let me see, you probably can't see it very well. Come up here. Happy birthday. It's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It lists out all the items that you need, okay? And the rest of it's up here. So just going to give you the products they used, all right? Which I know might be a little scary, but I thought I would walk you through how I figure out how big to make stuff, right? Because we're looking at this card here. All right, so I'm going to stick this aside because I've got just about everything we need. And we know this is a standard size card. So let's start with that. Sorry, gotta get all my bits and pieces here. So standard size card, right? I don't know. Let's see. Let's do this. All right. Stick that there. So standard size card, right? All right. And the items we are using, or the stamps and thin cuts. Stamps and thin cuts. This is the Palm Fronds Z4447. Okay. And then we've got Brush Strokes B1799. That's where we get this piece and the happy birthday. Okay. And then the thin cut flower, layered flowers, is Z4324. And I use these two right here. Okay. And then I got looking at this. I'm like, well, that's not in here. Okay, well, cross my heart isn't always, you know, can't get everything right 100% of the time, right, ladies? We're not perfect. So I'm like, oh, where is that? So I started looking through stamps, current stamps, and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a thin cut because that obviously looks like a thin cut, right? So, okay, well, what do we got? What can we use? And I came up with this is the Hope and Kindness. It's the special, it's in the catalog, it's CC 5225. And it is the Hope and Kindness Stampin' Thin Cuts. And this little flower, while it doesn't exactly look like that, if you just punch it out with that punch, it's pretty darn close, right? It's pretty close. It's about the right size for, I don't have an extra one. Oh, here's one. It's just about the right size for this little flower, because that's where it's going on top of, right? Shoot, doesn't have a hole in the middle though, because I looked for ones with holes in the middle. So I got my little punch out, and I'm going to hopefully try and do this on camera. And I stuck it between, it's not going to be easy. Okay, put it between your fingers like that, okay? And then put it into there. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And I just kind of lined it up where I thought it would look good and punched it. Ta-da! I know, favoriteest trick of all today, right? So that's how I got that little flower, because close to my heart didn't quite do it. We'll do it again. Put it between your fingers. Put it right on there. Hopefully you can see this. Let me turn it so you can see it. And just kind of line it up between my fingers. And about like that. Okay? So there's how I got the flower that I am using. And I told you what stamp set this is from. And there's the rest of it, because you can't really tell from that. Okay? Some nice everything bits. And this is the one that I used last Friday. Okay? Alright. So there's all the bits we used. So, now we have those two pieces. So this one is just cut full strength and then turned it over to the lighter. And this is a really easy one to line up, because if you look for that little point and that little point, boom, super easy, okay? Alright, let's get those out of the way. The next thing that I did is, I know my colors, and you might just have to kind of play with them and put them next to each other, like these two pieces. Okay, I know that that is, pull that in, make sure I'm on camera. I know that this is rosemary, and this has got to be sage. Okay? So we know that this is a full background, so we know that that is, oh, hold on, that's not the right size. That's right, I was going to change it up. Hold on 1 second, let me cut out another piece. I'm not perfect either. Talk amongst yourselves, as I would say if you were here. So 4 1/4. Turn it over so we're on the right side. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. I'm back. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We know that that is the background, right? Okay. So how I figured out this one. I started with 1 inch. This one is actually 3/4 of an inch. And I knew by looking at this piece here, which is Harbor, that it was going to be about 1/4 of an inch. So, got my 1/4 of an inch. I had 1 inch on there, so imagine that this one is this big. And I went, oh, that's a little too much. Just by looking at this, okay? So I knocked this down to 3/4 of an inch, put this right on top of it, and that looks about right. Okay? So there we go. Now how do we figure this one? Well, we know this is 4 1/4. So I started with 4 and started working my way down, and I ended up with 3 1/4. So we've got about 1/2 inch on either side. And if you line it up on the grid, it helps. So So about a half an inch on either side, which looks about right. It could be maybe an eighth of an inch smaller if you wanted. And then how do we figure out this length? Well, I went from 4 inches to 4.5. This one is now 4 3/4. Okay. So I'm going to cut a pennant, and I'm going to measure along my grid paper. I know that this is, half of 3 is 1.5, and then the quarter we're going to split. Okay, so I make a little mark. Sorry, cut my little pennant. Okay, if I go this way, I tend to go crooked, so I am going to turn it over and do it from the back side, and then I stay straight. Okay. So now, bring this all back in, and that looks about right. See, we've got maybe about the right size from here to there. Okay. All right. So we pretty much have our pieces, right? This one I got to cut down. Let me do that quick. So what I do is I just line it up from there and cut it off at the edge. All right. So now, if you look at the instructions, it says sewing machine. For this little stitched line right here is actually sewing machine. I'm like, okay, I'm deviating from that right now. I'm not bringing down my big heavy sewing machine. So I went and got the Jelly Roller size 10. And I'm going to show you that now. So I just line it up. It's 1/4 inch. I can make it nice and straight on here. And then I just very slowly, patiently, I didn't quite cut this right. Oh well. Just start making my lines. Now this is 10, a number 10 size, which means it's a little bit bigger. And I figured it would just, if you want to use the 8 or the 5 and have a little bit smaller stitch line, that's totally up to you. Okay? Just think of these as patterns or jumping off points to whatever you want to do. Okay, so just like that, and we'll leave that to dry. Okay? All right, what else do we got to do? Oops, I snipped off a piece of my edge. Hold on. Let's just trim that off. All right. So now we've got to do our background of this one. And let me move that so I don't stick my fingers in it. Tweezers are my bestest friend. I know this is word. Okay, there we go. So now we need to do this. And if you're looking, all right, I made the first mistake on my first one of using this one. This is actually another one. It is actually this one, and you can tell by the shape. Okay. So since this is sage and we have rosemary on top, the inks, it says, is avocado. So I'm going to start with the avocado. There's one there, one there, one there, maybe a piece there. So I am going to take this, ink it up really good. Hopefully I'm not wiggling the camera. And the first one goes right down here. So we're going to put that first one in, okay? Ink it up again, and you'll notice, hopefully I'm on camera, no. Let's put this over here. There, okay. So, the first one was here. Can you still see that? Let's see. Yeah. So the first one is here. We've got that. This one is kind of going this way. So let's do that one. And the next one is right about here. So we're going to have one here and right about there. So let's turn it around just to have something different. And put that there. Okay. So we'll leave that like that for now. And we will go to our blue one. Where's my wash off? Okay. And we will go to Harbor and this one. Get this out of the way. Too many things on my table today. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we can see we have a little bit of the bottom piece. And I've got a little line on there, so I'm going to wipe that off so it doesn't transfer. Put one there. Ink it up. We've got another one going here. We've got one over here, tucked behind there. So I'll put that one in. And there's one still right about here. So I'm going to go back to the other one and put just a smidge more in there. Just in case our, and I know that we're going to take about 3/4 of an inch. Actually, I don't even think we'll see it. We don't need to. Okay. Hands are all inky from playing today. So, there we go. How does that look? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Alright. So now we can put that on our card base right here. And sometimes I like to put it, it's going totally on the card, so I just put it there and then I don't have, then my hands are free. Okay? I line up 2 corners with the bottom edge. And there we go. Alright? And we can put this piece on. Because we know that's going up here. Alright. Where'd that piece go? What did I do with it? Anybody see it? Where did the stitch lines go? Wow. It's just the way it goes. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Alright. I found it. So for this one, I'm going to use my liquid glue. And again, it's much easier to touch that when it doesn't have glue on it. So I am going to put my glue on the cardstock. And then I can attach this right to the bottom. Okay. Ta-da. Now we need to do this one, so we'll set that one aside. A lot of times I'll stick a block on there just to hold it down to give it the glue a little bit more time to glue, if you will. Alright, so now we need to do this happy birthday. So I am going to take sage, because you can see it's a different color than that. And it's about that color, so that's why I use sage. And I know that the words are harbor, because it's blue here and here. And they like to spread the colors that you use throughout the card. Okay? So, sage is next. And how you would do this to figure out where to put it, let's back up a minute, is you want to put this on about where it's going to go, about there. And then you take your pieces, which I already stamped these because you know how to stamp those. And you kind of figure out where you're going to put stuff. So I know it needs to go right in here, okay? So, again, I'm going to line it up so that way I'm staying as straight as I possibly can. And I put this on sideways, so straight even helps a little more. put that down like that. I love those little flourishes. And then my happy birthday is, I lined it up and put it on my block, so it's on the same block. Makes it a little bit easier to use. I'm going to do birthday first. Sorry if my head gets in the way. Clean that off, turn it over, and happy. Just like so. Remember, it's a really small stamp, so don't push super hard or it'll fuzz it out. Those are our words. Alright. Now we just need to layer it together. So, I am going to put my adhesive on. Again, I'm going to line it up. And I know that I need to go. Here's another thing you can do is turn this piece over and look, half an inch, half an inch. So I'm going to use that grid line right there. Half an inch, half an inch. All right. So what am I going to do with these? So with these, I am going to find some foam tape. And I'm not going to foam tape all of it because I don't want it too bumpy, okay? I don't mind a little bit up, but I don't want it too bumpy. So I'm going to get me a piece. I'm going to cut it into pieces. Like, I know my hands are all blue from doing stuff today. And then I'm going to take these and cut these in half. And then I want the bottom part of this flower to stick up, or leaf. Do that again. And then I want the side and the bottom of this one. I'm going to put it there, there, and along this edge. I need another one. I'm using my Teflon coated. Okay, so this is going to go up here. I want that lifted up. I'm going to put another piece right there. And this, I put on the wrong side. Did I? Yep. So if you gently pull it up, you can sometimes move it ever so gently. So then I'm just going to put regular tape there and there when I get to that point. Alright, next. So again, if we are looking at our card, I didn't take the tape off yet because I kind of want to see how it's going to be. So this is just a little over, and you can actually look at this. Let me see. You can look at this frond and this frond, and this is right on the edge there. So if we put that one right there, then this one is not overlapping that, but it's underneath, right? And this dot and that line. So we know that that is going to be something like that. Like that. Oh, not over that line. Like that. Okay? So, let's put this one down first. Sorry, I know my voice got low. Sorry. I try and speak up. Alright, so a little bit of tape to hold that down. Smidge that back under there. Take this one off. Get our stickies off of there. Oop. A little bit of tape up here. Ah, stuck to my fingers. Remember that one? It's got to be like that. Okay. And then, where's my... got to glue this one together. Hang tight. So, just going to put, it's almost running out. A little bit of this around, like so. Remember I told you there's that point that you can pick up. So we'll find that point right there. And we will pick up this one ever so gingerly. And just match those 2 points up. And the liquid glue gives you just enough time to get that together. Okay? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Alright. Now we're going to glue this on. And if you look at this point, it is right here. So that's another indication of where we can put this. So that 1, 2, 3, you can even count 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Right about there. Okay. And then we need our little flower. And put just a little bit of foam tape on the back of that. So here's how I do that. I take my thin one and I just do little ones that I can cut into little squares. And I take my poke tool and I can put those on. One there, one there, and then, okay. Sorry, hope you're not too bored watching me put foam tape on. Okay. So we'll peel those off. Get rid of that part. Put it back on my tool. And put that down. Okay? What have we got left? We've got, and I don't know if you can see them, we've got these little gold sequins, but they're actually the clear ones. And if you look online at the catalog, you'll see this a little bit clearer. So my gold sequins and my pickup tool is my best friend, and some glue. So I like to use the back end to look for what I want, and about that size and that size, and then a big one and a medium one. There's so many in here. Medium and they will stick to you. And a small one. Not that small. Alright, there we go. Put the lid on this right away. So now you can, actually I'm not going to do this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my itty bitty glue dots, which you probably can't see that. Because these are clear, the glue dots just kind of disappear within there. There's one right there, and I put that one there. So I just load them up onto here. Oh, wow. That one's going to get two because I didn't get it centered. Okay, and then I'm going to use my poke tool. Make sure I get that off in there. Ah. And some of them are iridescent, some of them are clear. So you can see in the picture here, some of them look pink or yellow. That's why, because they're kind of pick up the colors. Like this one right here looks really yellow. And there we go. Yes, I know you love this, you want this. It's from close to my heart. It's magnetic to open and close, but you can't get them anymore. But if you'd like to have it, just go online to Close to My Heart and say, oh, I'd really like to have one of those tape runner boxes you used to have. Okay? All right. So, there is our card that we made. Okay? With the exception of that. So then, what if you want to change it up a bit? And here's the one I made before. Okay? And see, this one's a little bit more pink, where that one's a little more clear. They're pretty. So what if you want to change it up a bit? And you want to do something a little different? So, the first thing I did was I took my sponge dauber and my flower, and I sponged inside of here just to give it a little bit more color. You can see that versus that. Okay, then my flower sanded up a little bit more. Okay, that's the first thing I did. Then I took, this is from the Spectrum Noir metallic markers, and this is Gold Nugget, and so I just did this on that stitched, faux stitched, instead of the white. And these again are in the core catalog. And then I took some of our gloss spray and I put that on this part. And then these sequins I changed to gold. Okay? And here is the card I made. So, what do you think? So I sprayed this and I sprayed that up there. And I also, I'll hold it up so you can see. Okay. And then I also put on a glue dot a little tiny sequin that fit right in that hole. Okay. Now this is about the size of the mini glue dots, so you kind of have to ball it up and stick it in there. But that helped because, remember, that has a hole in it, and you wouldn't have to punch a hole if you want to do this. You could just do it without punching a hole. So there is look 1 and look 2, which is your favorite. Oh, and I also went around the edges just ever so slightly with the sponge dauber. So this is, I'll do half, if there's enough on here. And you probably can't see it there. I'll take a close-up of it for you. Here, let's do this. So there's the half I did, there's the half I didn't. Oop, how come I lost my computer? That was weird. Okay. So, which do you like? And if you'd like to see something else, let me know. I'm always looking for ideas. Otherwise, I'll think of something and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I hope you all have a great weekend, and whoever's coming to open house tomorrow, I can't wait to see you and show you what I've done. And fun, fun, fun. So have a great weekend, everybody.